Let's go out. Western Pizza Guest Hotline, joined by Les Lazaruk, my old friend. How are you doing up there? I love the muzzer. Love the muzzer.
Yeah. Doing fine, Barney. Just doing fine. I mean, it's cold. Actually, it's not that cold, really. It's nice today, but the weather just keeps going like a yo-yo up and down. And you never know what you're going to get from day to day. It's supposed to be down to minus 30 with the wind chill in the next couple of nights. So can you make up your mind as to what you're going to do with this? I mean, it was beautiful this morning. It was +1 when I got back home and walked into the door at 5 a.m. coming back from the road from Brandon.
Oof. I was going to ask you what time you had arrived. And then did you just go straight to work from there?
No, I hung out for a couple of hours with my wife and then went to work.
Vera made you a porridge and a coffee?
No, I do all that myself. I'm a very independent person in the morning. She's not a good morning person.
I was actually talking to Mom up there today, and I was wondering how much snow they got over, because we got a little bit here, and then it's so wet. And I said, the weather's bipolar. She didn't quite get that, but it's you never know what we're gonna get. Okay, let's start. Hey, let's start with Trevor Harris. It was 100%. He was coming back after everything. You read the sports up there. You're in the know. You watch the games. 100%. He was coming back for you, Les.
Absolutely. I mean, he said he wanted to come back. It was just a matter of getting together with Jeremy O'Day. I mean, I said it on the air here. I said, if whoever needs to go and do it, if it's got to be O'Day, Corey Mace, Mark Mueller, Craig Reynolds, send the whole shooting match of them down to Waldo, Ohio, get the deal done, give Rider Nation the early Christmas present, which they have done now, and now watch the dominoes fall. You're asking who's going to be next. Here's our buddy Justin Dunk over at 3 Down Nation talking today about Samuel Emilus, saying that if Trevor Harris signs with the Riders, what out of on a scale of 1 to 10 are you likely going to re-sign with the Riders? And he said 20 out of 10. So the next guy, in my mind, to sign is going to be Sam Emilus, because he wants to be back right away. So do a lot of guys. So do the guys that you were mentioning. Jamarcus Hardrick wants to be back. Jacob Brammer wants to be back. Dante Myers, AJ Ouellette. I mean, they all want to come back. They all have said that they want to bring it back and try and win 2 in a row, something that's never been done by a Saskatchewan Roughriders team. That's easier said than done. It's not going to be easy to do it in 2026, but if you get that kind of commitment from everybody and everybody's willing to do it for the right hometown rates, that's going to be important. There's where that's going to be the rub right there. Are you prepared to do it for the rate that everybody's going to be palatable with? Then you can bring it back possibly.
I was going to talk about the Hiroshi.
That's right.
What is Emilus? Because when you see Philpott and Farhan let us know they have the same ages. He has the same agent, Philpott, and that was so. It's like, okay, now and a little bit of ego in there as well, and all that. You're gonna want the same number, if not more. So but Les, that's not the haircut that we might need.
Maybe not. But I mean, he could probably get $250,000 somewhere else. But again, he is a buddy of Harris. He was a favorite target of Trevor Harris. He knows what he's going to get as a member of the Saskatchewan Roughriders and catching passes from Trevor Harris. He doesn't know what he's going to get trying to catch passes from Chad Kelly in Toronto, or Nathan Rourke in BC, or Davis Alexander, God forbid, in Montreal. I mean, he doesn't know what he's going to get. He doesn't know what kind of effect he's going to have on the offense. He knows what he's going to get here. And if he needs his ego stroked, that's going to be enough stroking of the ego, even if he gets only $200,000 compared to $250,000. Another Grey Cup ring would look pretty good compared to that $250,000.
And with BC signing Hatcher and Montreal signing Philpott, I don't think they have the cake to break. So it's going to end up being a Toronto. It's end up maybe an Ottawa. Winnipeg, Edmonton, so
maybe
Calgary, but it's interesting with the offensive line. And you look at the Grey Cup game, and you saw it, you watched it, you've been watching football your whole life, you get it. Like Trevor Harris, like he said himself, he said, I didn't have to wear shoulder pads. Like how important an offensive line is.
When you can sit back in the rocking chair as a 39-year-old quarterback and just basically pick your spots at will. I mean, he completed 85% of his passes in the Grey Cup game. That's a Grey Cup record. That's crazy. And 302 yards, that's phenomenal. So, yeah, the offensive line is ultimately the key. They've got everybody back from injury just in time. And if they get all those guys back for next season and they can stay healthy as a group, then they're going to do big things again.
All right, let's shift over to the Western Hockey League. Joining us here, it's Les Lazaruk up in Saskatoon, voice of the Saskatoon Blades, Saskatoon Berries. Last night, you guys are in Brandon. If we look at the Eastern Conference, Les, and you get to watch a lot of hockey, you've seen a lot of hockey. Anything surprising you as we sit here early December?
The beginning of the season, Brandon getting off to a slow start was a surprise. They were 0-4-1. Since then, they're 12-7 and starting to make their move up the standings in the Eastern Conference. So don't be surprised if they're in the mix here pretty soon. Right now, we've got basically three tiers, Barney. We've got the top tier with Edmonton, Medicine Hat, and Prince Albert. And the Raiders have fallen to the Tigers their last couple of games. And they're going to play 3-3 this weekend in Calgary, Red Deer, and Edmonton. And by the way, all three of those games are teddy bear toss games. So that's going to be a lot of fun and long days for the Prince Albert Raiders on that trip. But, with that being said, they've been tremendous. They have the second coming of Tanner Mollendijk on their team in Daxon Rudolph, who's the best player in the division, in the East Division, and maybe in the Eastern Conference, I would dare say. He's tremendous. He's the guy. He's the straw that stirs the drink, and that straw is actually led a little bit by Justice Christensen, who may be the best captain in the Western Hockey League in the Eastern Conference at the very least. I mean, that's a tremendous 1-2 punch, and Ryan McDonald is better start getting some credit for being a very good head coach. Young guy who came through the Raiders system, knows all about it. He went to the games as a kid, and now here he is. He's the guy leading the troops, and he's doing an outstanding job. So the Raiders are legit. As far as I'm concerned, they're legit. There was supposed to be them and Brandon and Saskatoon at the top of the division. Right now, the Raiders are, 9 points ahead or 8 points ahead of the Blades and about 15 ahead of Brandon. So, those two teams have got a long ways to go to catch them, but there's a lot of finagling for position beyond that. The second tier, you've probably got Brandon, you got Saskatoon, you got Moose Jaw, you got Calgary in there. And then the final tier, you've got the Regina Pats and the Red Deer Rebels, Lethbridge and Swift Current. They're all going to battle for the eighth and final playoff spot in all likelihood.
I watched Calgary play the Pats here, and I found, and you watch a lot of hockey, so I want your eyeball test here. Big, strong, physical team, and I was surprised the Pats put it to overtime and then pulled that game out. But a team that's maybe that you can see right now that's built for that long playoff grind and coming out and then having to go. Would it be Prince Albert?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Prince Albert would be. Medicine Hat is really coming on too here right now, and they weren't supposed to. Here they had all these guys that they lost. McKenna going to college, Ryder Ritchie going to college, Caden Lindstrom going to college. Other guys that that were on the team last year. No more Mollendijk, no more Harrison Menigan in goal. They lose a lot of guys, and yet here they are, right back. Willie Desjardins signs a lot of good young players, Americans and Junior A guys. Brings them in, and they're a wagon again. They're tough. They scored 9 on the Blades back last Friday, and looked really, really solid in doing so. And then they've beaten PA twice since then. So it's hard to ignore Medicine Hat. And Edmonton, they're built for this as well. They've got a really strong squad, top to bottom. I like what I see out of them as well. So come playoff time, bring the popcorn. If it's those three teams, I'm there to watch that for as much of the springtime as I can.
Okay, I want your honest here. We got to take the Blades. We got to take SaskTel Center. It'll always be Sask Place to me out of the mix here. But playoff atmosphere in the Eastern Conference, packed. You've been in probably all of them at some point along the way. Mm-hmm. I've been in Swift. When it's been packed, you can't beat it. The Art Hauser Center in PA, which is your favorite barn packed? Is it the Hauser?
Yeah, it's the Hauser. Absolutely. I love going to Prince Albert, regardless of whether it's packed or not. And, of course, every time the Blades go there, it is packed because the fans go there just to boo Saskatoon. They want to beat the Blades so they can hear the Guess Who playing at the end of it, running back to Saskatoon. That is such a tradition. And I sit there, and I'm a Winnipeg guy. who grew up with the Guess Who, and I love their music. And I don't get upset anymore when the Blades lose because I know I'm going to hear one of my favorite tunes of all time played by one of my favorite bands of all time. So it doesn't bother me in the least. I mean, the fans sit there and they go, Lazaruk, you lost out there. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, joke's on you. I'm kind of enjoying it right now.
Kay, trade bait. And yes. It's going to start. We're going to start talking about it more here. We got Lakovic and Moose Jaw. I think a lot of people are thinking that he could end up in Kelowna in the interior there. But trade bait for some of these teams. Who are some big names that you could see getting moved maybe post Christmas and into that playoff push?
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to know for sure. I mean, I haven't even seen Regina yet this year. So, I mean, there's a Keats Fawcett who's got 18 goals this year and has had a tremendous season on a team that's, interesting
Flying.
to try and watch on a night-to-night basis.
Yeah.
Is he going to get moved? Does Dale Durkach do that necessarily? Because he could probably be back again next year. So, you've got to think of what you've got coming up from a Pats perspective. You got Maddox Schultz and Liam Pure going to play for you full time next year at age 16. You want to make sure they're not the only guys. You can't just get rid of everybody because you want to, because it's time to look forward and ahead. You got to have some guys to play with them. So getting rid of Fawcett necessarily isn't a good thing. But yeah, I'd say that.
What does Swift or Lethbridge have?
Lethbridge has Logan Warmel. There's the guy right there that I think would be of real interest to a lot of teams. He's definitely a goal scorer that could be of some help along the line. That would be the key one out of Lethbridge. Swift, man, I have a hard time seeing. I mean, Hudson Darby, who's a veteran guy, but they just got him from Portland this year. And again, and not local guy, coach's son. The heck with that. I mean, hey, son, we're trading you away. We brought you in, and now we're going to send you off to God knows where. Prince George, how do you like them apples? But, I mean, there's a great team. The Cougars are a wagon as well, a very good team out in the Western Conference. So anybody who's 19 or 20 on some of those lower-ranked teams, Red Deer, I mean, do you get rid of some of those guys? Matthew Guard, does he become somebody that's expendable from the Red Deer Rebels, a guy who just got drafted by the NHL this past summer? He's only 18, though, so maybe you don't necessarily do that if you're Brent Sutter. But any good 19 or 20, and there's the other thing, too, with the changing landscape, the quality 20s aren't quite there like they have been in past years, and even some of the quality 19s aren't there that they were in the past. So, yeah, it's been slow moving. I talked to Kurt Hill in Edmonton back a couple of Sundays ago. Actually, it was this past Sunday. It feels like Monday to me, Barney, because of that game last night.
Because you got home at 5 in the morning from Brandon.
Yeah, it feels like a Monday to me. I'm just totally bejeezered here. But no, back on Sunday in Edmonton, Kurt Hill says to me, he says, there's hardly been any movement. And he's right. There really hasn't been big movement. All the trades have been a player for draft picks, and the massaging here and there. When the big blockbuster happens, the first big one, then you're going to see a bunch of dominoes fall, and you may be surprised who gets moved as a result. But until such time as, say, a Lakovic gets dealt, if indeed Moose Jaw chooses to want to do that, they don't necessarily have to. They're doing pretty well. They could maybe win a round of the playoffs if they get hot, because he just absolutely gets going. He kills the Blades. He's got 5 goals in 3 head-to-head games against Saskatoon this year. So if you're Moose Jaw and you come up against the Blades in the first round of the playoffs, you want that guy on your side in order to possibly win some games for you in the first round of the playoffs.
You know what I was going to say when you were kind of talking there, and you're talking about Darby and Swift, and I forgot about that. And then you got Durkach and Regina, and then his son, and then even you look back last year or whatever. Although Hildebrand was up in PA, he maybe could have been with the Blades and all that. It's very interesting how we're seeing a lot of front office or coaches, and now their sons coming up.
Well, coaches and front office, kids coming through, makes me feel old is what it does do, Barney. I mean, I mentioned that to Regan Darby. I was talking to him on the bench, and I says, God, I remember you playing. Yeah. Even Mark Derlago yesterday I chatted with in Brandon. I mean, that's Billy Derlago's nephew, Bill's brother, his son. And Mark says, I says to him, I remember you playing 20 years ago. He says, is it that long ago already? I says, yeah, it was 20 years ago. He had a career in Europe, and now he's still playing senior hockey with the Hartney Blues, for heaven's sake.
Is he?
Yeah, he is.
Wow.
He plays every Sunday whenever he can, whenever the schedule allows him. So it's fun to see that sort of thing. I mean, Andrew Sauer, the Blades assistant coach, played with the Keniston team whenever he could last year. I don't know if he's playing with them this year. He is, eh?
I watched him last year, and then we just had a text message come in. Our listeners are on the ball. Travis Moen coaching in Swift and his boy. There's another one.
That's right. Travis and Carter. Well, I mean, that's basically a family affair in Swift Current. Parker Rondo is on that team. His father, Jeremy, I had a chat with him in Saskatoon last year, and I said, hey, your kid chipped off the old block. He said, well, no, not exactly. He's not as big as I was, and certainly not as rough and tough as I was, and that's true. I mean, Jeremy Rondo was a big horse of a guy that was tough to control when he was with Swift Current. Same thing. And then you get Sawyer Dingman in Swift Current. Well, his dad is Chris, of course, not a Swift Current Bronco back then, but I mean, he was a pretty darn tough and tough customer with the Brandon Wheat Kings.
Brandon Wheat Kings, the wagon.
Yeah, back in the late 90s. So, no, there's a lot of that. It's a lot of fun to see the kids come through and how different they are from their fathers, too, because the game has changed so much, too. That's the thing. I mean,
it has.
20 years ago, you could do some of the stuff, although they tried to bring it back last night in Medicine Hat, the game against PA. Did you watch any of the highlights of that?
No.
What a show that was. Oh, it was crazy. There was goaltender getting involved. He actually got kicked out of the game. Dimitri Fortin took over in goal for
I did see this
for the Raiders, and he broke some sticks after the fights were done of the opposition of the Tigers. And it's like, are you kidding me? What is going on here? It's a rodeo instead of a hockey game all of a sudden.
Les Lazaruk's joining us here on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. I want to get a couple of things from you before I let you go. First off, speaking of noodle scratchers and us feeling old, and we are seeing the Olympics and we're seeing the NHLers come back. It just feels like Nagano was like a couple of years ago, but it's such a big deal, and the rink's not ready, and it looks 3 to 4 feet shorter. Isn't that something?
Okay, the 3 to 4 feet doesn't bother me because, I mean, let's face it. Many years ago, the Boston Garden was 11 feet shorter. So big deal. I don't care about the 4 feet. So it's going to be 196 feet long instead of 200. The fact that it's not ready yet, now that is concerning. Can you imagine that thing? I mean, it takes me back to the first time the Blades got to play in Portland at the old Rose Garden, and we got there, and we were the first team to ever play there. 17,500 fans. The game started an hour and a half late because they were still pouring water on the ice surface and bolting the stands into place. And in fact, they got to the point, they did so good of a job that they didn't have an opening for the Zamboni to come out. And we had to wait for that before they finally were able to do that. But, to have the building not ready yet, what's going to be wrong with it? You end up going in there for the test and you realize, the ice plant doesn't work all that well. And it's like, come on, the Olympics are in like 4 weeks' time. You better have this stuff ready. Otherwise, there's going to be no ice hockey competition at the Olympics. And the NHLers who are begging to be involved, want to be involved, may not get the opportunity. Yeah, maybe I'm overreacting. I probably am. It's not unusual for me to do that sort of a thing. But, Barney, it concerns me that the rink isn't ready yet in Milan.
Yeah, and how much hockey is going to be played on there. It's something else. Okay, here's another quick one. I know you don't want to dabble in politics, especially Regina politics, but let's talk some people off the fence here, because I was trying to make sense of it yesterday. Being a Saskatoon guy, now living here for 19 years almost, I always thought it was odd how the city ran the outdoor rinks here. In Saskatoon, they have some of the best outdoor rinks. They run longer because it's community associations and volunteers that do it less. Let's just tell people in Regina, if the city takes it away, it might be a good thing.
Yeah, I would agree. Absolutely. Let the volunteers look after it. Make the rinks ready when they're ready to be needed, and there's going to be a need. And when the volunteers look after it, you're going to be ready to go when the time comes. Not dawdling around and waiting for the city to make it away from place to place to place and finally make it ready and upset everybody in the community. I mean, let the volunteers look after it. Let the community look after the rinks. They'll do their job. It'll be fine. The city can just go ahead, and if they have to collect some rental or something like that, just let the money come in. What the heck? That's all that city should really do in that situation, isn't it?
I don't know. Yeah. And then they always close them too early. Okay, before I let you go, Colson, throw it up here. This is something else. I saw this today. It's not quite Cooperalls. If you're watching the stream, the Blades are going retro. And that isn't the jersey they really, well, I guess they did wear with the Cooperalls, but they got the pants and the socks to make it look like Cooperalls. Right away, I go back. I'm thinking of Larry DePalma, Grant Kachuk, Randy Smith in the Cooperalls. That's a sharp look.
Wendell
That's a sharp
Clark.
look. Wendell.
Yeah, it is. It is a good look, and I like the old. That's the original Pac-Man look from back in the 80s. Mm-hmm. So and nice models there, Rowan Calvert and Tyler Parr. Good job, boys.
Yeah, that's a great look. All right, Les, thanks for doing this. I don't know if we'll get a chance to, although I'm up there quite a bit in the next little bit, buy you a pint or something. But if not, Christos Nanadusia, my Ukrainian. My Ukrainian friend, and maybe we'll get a chance to have a Daiboja at some point.
That would be nice. I would look forward to that, Barney.
Sardinias.
Yes, absolutely. Alex will look after us.
Yeah. Thanks, Les. Thanks for doing this, bud. Take care.
Not a problem. You too.
There he is.
Bye-bye.